you start high, you've got to go higher. That's what Michelle Obama said. Is that what Michelle Obama said? She said something.
When they go low, you go higher.
Yeah, when they go low, you go lower. She's gone lower. Just for a few people here, just going to. Can you come over and do this, Nads? Because no, sit.
Just for anyone that might think.
Welcome to the news.
Just for anyone that might think, oh, that Sawalha, she won Celebrity MasterChef. She must be a really good cook.
Wait a minute.
I threw together some healthy banana muffins this morning, okay? Forgot to put the eggs, forgot to put the cinnamon, and now I've just burnt them.
What are they then?
They're burnt eggless.
Hang on, they don't have banana or cinnamon.
No, they've got banana, they've got eggs.
Well, what were they meant to be? Anyway, a pre-recorded, incredibly beautiful looking pre-recorded and tasty Curly Cooks is going to be landing shortly after this. Bellissimo! Bellissimo! Is that right? Bellissimo? Anyway, guys, it's Saturday. We haven't done this for a couple of weeks. It's so nice to have you all in the room. How are you? I haven't. I was in New York. We didn't do it last weekend. So, yeah, no, we haven't. Don't crash in on me. No, you can crash in on me because you might die. That's fine. Now I have to tolerate her singing because she said, well, you'll miss me when I'm dead. Lee Derrant, you got your shirt short. I've got my short shorts. I haven't got my short shorts on today. Lee, that is coming. Maddie is on a mission to find me Paul Mescal's shorts. I can't recover from them. I've seen other photographs. I think Zoe, you posted them.
Somewhere like that.
Zoe, your dad used to wear leotard shorts. Yeah, I took it and I shoved it up my nostril. I'll just move you that way. No, won't move you that way. So how are you all? You all good? Hi, Carol Naismith, sending you love, sweetheart. I hope you're well. Hi, Reese. Hi, Becky Fithian. Hey, Jane Collett. Well, oh yeah, we're going to do the news. Okay, so general erection fever. It's everyone's running around, showing each other's hands. Keir Starmer's hands seem to be getting bigger. Rishi's fingers seem to be getting longer. Ed Davies doesn't care about his hands because he just keeps throwing himself into water, doesn't he? Everywhere. Nigel Farage just has hands that smoke. That's what he does. He smokes and he holds beer.
I've met him
Oh, that's not nice. I don't know why. When I look at Nigel Farage, I see the Mad Hatter. Do you? In a way, from the original kind of. He so looks like the alien from Aliens in the Attic. See, I can hear that off camera there. He looks like the alien. Oh my God. He so does. He looks like there's a character somewhere that's like a bin monster that just shovels food into its mouth and just ho, 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 ho. He looks a bit like that. So Edward Bevington, you're absolutely right. Nigel Farage has said that Russia was provoked. Ah! My God, Nadia's put on the fly thingy. That made me fuck it. Sorry, guys. I wanted a really relaxed, calm. I thought I'm not going to charge through the news stories today. We're gonna roll with them. We're gonna roll with it. We're gonna take the time, which is what I'm trying to do right now by drinking my coffee. But you're absolutely right, Edward Bevington. Victoria Moore asks, Nadia, where is our fly zapper from?
Amazon.
Our fly zapper has focus pulled from what I'm doing here. From Amazon. Did you hear that? I don't think you heard that. Okay, let's have a look at the front pages. These were the front pages as they were last night. There's been a few tweaks. Front of the Guardian, 300 million NHS patient records stolen by Russian hackers. Should we worry about this? Should we be worried that our NHS is basically being held to ransom? Part of me, when I saw this story, thinks, God, how boring it must be for those poor people who are combating this hack to go through the most... There's nothing more boring than listening to people talk about their medical issues. So imagine having all these medical issues publicized and then having to be the people who go through it to check. Oh my God. I mean, this is no disrespect, but as we get older, Mum, Nanny Thelma, we all talk about our ailments more and more. Imagine being a hacker, trying to fight the hackers, and they have to wade through this boring, turgid medical stuff. Who cares if Johnny had his O-type thingy? It's not good. I'm not saying it's good, but my God, it's boring. Do you know what I mean? There's almost so much to worry about, Steph Schultz. Me going to the doctors now. I don't really care if Putin's looking at my medical records, if I'm honest. Front of the Times, J.K. Rowling, Labour has turned its back on women. We're going to talk about this a little bit more. Fabulous photo at the bottom. We're going to talk about that too, of the future king. Starmer will reverse Brexit, says Kemi Badenoch. Guess what? That's the first thing that's vaguely made me want to vote Labour. The Tories have thrown this as red meat, saying, don't vote for Labour, they're going to roll back Brexit. And it's like, oh, hey, let's hope they do. Hey, guys. So kind of a bit of a shot in the foot there for the Tories, if that's really what you're going to put on the front of the Daily Telegraph. Daily Mail, and here we have it. Edward Bevington. Stacey Randall's gone nuts. She's been held back for days, and now she's gone absolutely nuts. And I'm going to be singing a special happy birthday later in this live, aren't I? To a lovely, lovely, lovely lady called Claire. I just want to just quickly make sure that I haven't got the details on that incorrect, because we get it. Just bear with me one sec. Yes. So there you go. So it's going to be a little birthday at the end. So Farage, right, okay, I'm going to be contentious here. The West provoked, in inverted commas, Putin. He's not saying, I can't stand Farage, don't worry. He's not saying that they're right to have done what they've done, but who, in any way, shape or form, here, potentially agrees with what Nigel Farage is saying? Discuss. And on that, whilst we're discussing, I'm gonna do this. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Claire, for your 50th. Happy birthday to you. There you go. Hope that cheers you up. Who thinks? Oh, Edward Bevington, you 100% agree Farage's assessment that the West provoked Putin. JKR is just trying to capitalize, as MeTube, on the debate the other night. Does anyone really believe she'd vote Tory? Laugh out loud. No, absolutely not. You're absolutely right. Saw a funny meme, says Steph Whelan. Saw a funny meme that said choosing between Starmer and Sunak is like shitting your pants but only changing your tie. So funny. I saw a much ruder one, which I wanted to post, and Addie said, you can't post that. It's not often she does that. She said, you can't post that. Kathy Cross, very sweet. She's just gifted a membership as Stacey's gifted 20. Angela Thompson, totally. He told them this would provoke when he was a European Parliament MP years ago. Now, all of a sudden, it's news. I think the point, I'm not getting on. Here's the thing. I think so many topics and so many things and so many issues in the world, people try and encourage or force us down party political routes. And I think a far more realistic assessment of many of the problems in the world is a bit of this is true, a bit of that is true, a bit of this is true, a bit of that isn't true. Do you know what I mean? And whether that aligns with a certain political party or not is by the by. And the kettle's gone on, but that doesn't matter. So he says this. I remember having a conversation with Teddy way back when, which is, it's all about point of view, isn't it? We know what Putin is. Nads?
Sorry, did I need to hear something?
Oh, so, all right. Okay, so I didn't know if you know it was on. We know Putin's a nut job. But we've got this kind of pretense that Biden isn't a nut job, or Trump isn't a nut job, or that that we're all somehow, our side of the street is clean when it absolutely bloody isn't. My analogy on this is, and where I think he's coming from is, we all know what happened when Cuba, missiles, Russia, nuclear war. Close to JFK, finger, button, Cuban Missile Crisis. We also know what would happen if, say, Mexico joined some kind of NATO equivalent for, say, Russia and all communist state countries. That would be something that America would not tolerate. America would not tolerate that. Now, you can talk about the rights and the wrongs of every nation and all that kind of stuff. And it's not about the fact that NATO isn't needed. NATO is needed, but we shouldn't be surprised. We shouldn't be surprised. And I think this is the point that lots of people are making, is we shouldn't be surprised, regardless of what our narrative is, regardless of what we think. I was talking to someone the other day, a young person, and when I talked to them about the fact that we were actually essentially, reluctant, admittedly, allies with Russia in World War II, they were perplexed, they were shocked, and they were surprised. Sorry, I've been gardening. They were surprised. So anyway, I think it's interesting. So what Farage is talking about there is there's a kind of grain of truth in it, because it is perceived as a provocation. But of course, Putin's fanned the flames of this massively, hasn't he? And he's illegally invaded another country off the back of it. But and of course it's cloud cover for everything that he wants to do. But how much? The point is, it's not that it's not cloud cover for Russia to go into Ukraine. It's the way in which we all like to pretend that Israel isn't cloud cover for us to have control of the Middle East. It's the hypocrisy. It's not. It's like when one was talking about Iran, acting in self-defense. It's the hypocrisy. And if we think other people in the world can't see the hypocrisy, then we're absolute morons. Or we're imperialistic, colonialist, exceptionalist wankers. We could be those. Could be either of those. Anyway, so let's move on through other headlines. But of course, the Daily Star has this on their front page. Election bombshell. An exclusive poll has revealed that the Daily Star's pal, Count Binface, is more popular than Lettuce Liz Truss.
What the hell?
Yeah. So basically, tin-headed Count Binface would be, in an election for the leader, more popular than Liz Truss. But we're going to go into the details of that poll in a while. So we've kind of done old him. So here we go. Starmer will reverse Brexit. As I said earlier, this for me is about the only single headline that that makes me even vaguely consider voting Labour again. And weirdly, Starmer won't admit it. No one will talk about Brexit. Brexit didn't exist. Brexit never happened. Brexit's not responsible for anything. And then the Tories say this as if it's some kind of like gauntlet on the table. It's some like mic drop moment. Yeah, and they're going to make us go back into Brexit. And it's like, oh, brilliant. Another reason not to vote for you Tories. Get me? It's like, does anyone really think Brexit has worked? Come on, if someone's here said it, come on, don't feel the pressure, don't feel shame. Just say it. Just say it. Do you feel Brexit has worked? And if so, how? Because I'd love to know. I'd love to know. I'd have thought a slug would be more popular than Truss, says Penny Albertella. It's not that the weirdest thing about Brexit is it's not even that it has or hasn't worked. Can someone just tell us materially how it has worked? Exactly, MeTube. If it has worked, that's the bit I failed to get. It's all a bit nebulous, isn't it? It's like, yeah, it's worked. Has it? I mean, even on the whole immigration thing, the other day it was a shocking statistic that in one day 882 individuals were taken from the English Channel. I mean, there's the catastrophe and the trauma and the sadness of their lives and what they were escaping from, but then there's wow, that is a stark number. Sophia Lopez officials. Notice I'm going a bit slower through the stories rather than racing towards a story about a rabbit on a skateboard. Ill management. Oh. That's because it hasn't. There's no statistics, says Sophia Lopez. Absolutely right. Dawny, it's worked as well as a chocolate teapot. Can someone tell me what the phrase? I remember years ago, some guy I knew and was kind of related to for a while said that's as useful as a chocolate frog. What does that mean? Does anyone know what a chocolate frog means? Is there a chocolate? And I've got a horrible feeling he was saying it in relationship to, bear with me, an erection. I don't know what the chocolate frog was. So Starmer will reverse Brexit. If only is my answer to that. If only. Not heard that one, Steph? No, it's a weird one, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. Look at that. Now, the weirdest thing about this photo was, do you ever do this sometimes where, do you do that thing? I'm going to put it away. So do you do that thing ever where you look at a word or you say a word repeatedly and then it becomes completely meaningless? It happened to me with the word and the other day. It was like, this is ridiculous. this word means nothing. Do you do that? And then you say it more, and then it becomes more and more ridiculous. This photo, the longer I looked at it, the more and more I saw the grass, the grassy dune, as the top of a giant's head, and they're jumping over it. And as I say it, it's like literally the top of Nanny Di's head, a giant Nanny Di with a bit of a green tint, and they're jumping over it. They're jumping over a head. And the more I say it, and the more I see it, the more I can't think it, and the more I'm constructing that little face down at the bottom of the shot. Now, of course, the first question we all ask, given Kate's incredible skills at photoshopping, is, did this really happen? That's my question. And the other thing that I ask when I look at this, can't unsee it now, Daisy Hayes, it's impossible. It's either Nanny Di or Noel Edmonds beneath them. They're jumping over a giant Noel Edmonds or a giant troll doll, absolutely. But the hair, you can see the curvature in the hair. Honey, I've Shrunk the Royals. The other thought that I had as I watched this, and this is an age thing, is, oh my God, my knees literally tightened, tweaked. They went, my knees did, when I looked at that. But anyway, there is an image of our tiny royals jumping over a very large Nanny Di. This is curious. PEX scan party. This is sticking with general erection fever. Party flogs tickets to male strip show at fundraising ball. That's craziness. Nad, you let the dogs out. They're whining. Sorry. Poor old Toffs is desperate to go out. So so what would you do for any of these? Thanks, babe. They were just whining at the door.
Come on, then. Come out.
Are they not coming? Oh, she was whining. So this is the Conservative Party sold tickets for male strippers in a desperate bid to raise election funds. What the hell? But the funniest part of this is this. Here are some, they're doing it again. Just leave it open, Nads. Just leave it open, babe. Just leave it open. No, I know. It's just. So here are some of the other things that they wanted to auction off. The first item was 4 tickets to see Magic Mike. This is to raise funds for the Tory party. Let's go and see Magic Mike. Really? Here are some of the other things. Another lot that was to be voted on or auctioned off was lunch with Business Secretary Kemi Badenoch. Hi, tralala. Would you really want to go for lunch with Kemi Badenoch? There were also dinners with Grant Shapps, David Cameron, and Jacob Rees-Mogg. Everything about it is inconceivably hideous. Imagine not only having to go, you would have to pay me to go for lunch with Jacob Rees-Mogg. Do you know what I mean? But carrying on with the general erection fever, he's for English people, say the people of Clacton. Farage's populist pitch starts to gain traction in Clacton. Can I ask this question? Hey Zoe, hi Zoe. Hope you well. What's happened to me? I can't speak. Can I just ask you this question? Do you think that, and this is for everyone, do you think that Nigel Farage appeals to so many more people than are willing to admit? So, for example, in any kind of poll or in any kind of research, any research of the population's kind of voting intentions, we're never going to truly hear the voting intentions because people aren't going to want to admit it. Do you think that? Do you think that Farage is a sort of guilty secret or a guilty pleasure? But the exception to this is that for some reason, everyone in Clacton, I filmed in Clacton, it's a curious place, but everyone in Clacton is quite happy to just say it. But everyone else is kind of like, I'm not going to say anything. But when they get into that poll and they go, yeah, there's one for you, Nigel boy. Giving him one with his flat cap and all that funny stuff. Anyway, this is people in Clacton are so tickety-boo that this chap is going to represent them. I mean, look at him. He's an absolute pinnacle of Englishness. So here we go. Farage's Reform Party campaign cab outside an amusement arcade. The weird thing about every image I see to do with the Reform Party, it feels like a photograph from my nan's photo drawer from the 1970s. Did anyone else get that? It's like photos of Magic City, and every photograph feels like it's come from a bygone era, even of them on the campaign trail. I mean, look, even this image here. It's like that was taken circa 1970. Well, apart from the fact he's got a mobile phone. Don't you find it weird? It's like they're inherently dated. It's like they're inherently trapped in a 1970s or 80s or 60s sort of carry-on era. Oh, it's all weird, isn't it? Moving on to this topic, MeTube, you were referring to Starmer's abandoned women, says J.K. Rowling. What do you think of this? J.K. Rowling says she will not vote for Labour in the general election after accusing Sir Keir of abandoning women. She considers herself left-wing. She's donated to Gordon Brown in the past, but she says she's now more likely to vote for an independent candidate because she feels that the Labour Party have sold women down the line. She reeled off quotes from Labour MPs that she feels will have real-world consequences of gender ideology, including the time that Sir Keir Starmer criticised fellow MP Rosie Duffield for saying only women have cervix. As we evolve through this era, this age, this time of, gender fluidity, trans rights, the awfulness of transphobia and what have you, I think all of this is I feel like, does anyone else feel with the trans argument, there's a kind of technical, almost, what's the word? Not vocabulary, but it's to do with words. It's to do with definitions, and then sort of problem. And then there's real world, authentic, emotional problems. Or the issues. You can view it as a person. It's a little bit like the Israel-Gaza thing. Rather than taking sides, isn't it about being humanistic about the whole topic? I feel J.K. Rowling has been much maligned in some regards. We've talked a lot about how, within certain ways, it almost feels like certain women's rights feel like they may have been ignored, not trashed, but equally the rights and the safety and the freedom of the trans community have been ignored, and I feel like everyone ends up losing out. And I'm with you, Mitreve, a little bit on this. I think J.K. Rowling maybe had some, valid points to be made, but is she becoming more sort of sidelined into a very sort of position on this? I mean, I agree. I mean, I personally think there should be the definitions should just the idea that there are just 2 or 4 or 5 is clearly ridiculous. But I think for the sake of kind of admin and day-to-day living, I think it's easier to have biological versus non-biological of each gender, and I think then within those worlds, your pronouns become infinitely more complex and nuanced. But with it, I do think there needs to be a sort of user-friendly structure for all sides of the equation, so that everyone feels heard. Let's have a look at what some of you are saying, because we rarely really talk about this in much detail. Creatorholic, he says there's a difference between biological sex and other types of sex. I don't hear him being against any. Starmer, yeah. Reese, humanistic and holistic is what's missing in a lot of discourses. Doesn't mean you have to agree or disagree in a loud manner, but there's always roots to things that dictate people's views. All her points are valid, says Good Ship Lollipop. Just reaching back to Farage, Victoria Moore says Farage will gather people who are not politically engaged because of how he talks. I agree. I think Farage absolutely has the gift of the gab. He really does. And, he's one of those guys that even when you're politically completely in the opposite camp to him, you hear him talk. He's a refreshing voice. I hate to say he's a refreshing voice, much in the way that I wouldn't say Trump's refreshing. He's gobsmacking. But because they're not talking what feels like is this kind of political chat that speaks to no human emotions. And I think that's a problem for all politicians of all persuasions. I mean, I have to say, Nadia's always said it about Ed Davey. When I saw part of the kind of the leaders chat, he felt the most personable, Ed Davey, Lib Dems guy. He felt the most real. He felt the most realistic. I mean, Starmer just looks stunned And I think maybe Starmer's stunned by the incoming success that's heading his way. Dawny Harvey, if you're a sportswoman and trained from a kid to be the best, it's unfair if a trans person wants to compete as a woman. She will be at an advantage. Interesting as well. And I think whilst, J.K. Erin, I was hoping you'd be in the room. Erin, it was a good enough answer if you don't think about how gross it is to reduce people to their genitals. That's a good point. J.K. Rowling does not believe in respecting other people's ideas, though. She calls it mental illness. Okay, well, I mean, again, I'm not privy to every single thing she's posted on this. I think one of the things that I find is interesting, I don't know if you agree, Erin or Dawny, and let's just read this trolala. What's interesting to me is that my son's girlfriend is French, and last night we had the same conversation about the French election. No one likes any parties now. It's in those moments that extremism thrives, because of course the disenfranchised and the disheartened just step back from voting, and that gives a voice and a chance with a smaller, voting population for the extremes to come through. But going back to this thing of what? But going back, sorry, she's just mouthing at me. Going back, what? Oh, it's really disconcerting. When she smiles at me, she looks like she's going to vomit. What was I saying? So in terms of the whole trans thing, I've lost my thread. Don't worry about it. He confirmed biology is male, female, but gender is a different thing, which is true, says MeTube. Oh yeah, no, that's what I was going to say. So even when me and Nanny Di saw like Love Lies Bleeding, I think there are so many sexual orientations, gender identities that get lost and get forgotten and feel like they're being kind of not disrespected, but not acknowledged. So, for example, Love Lies Bleeding, I could really see for my mum, who's gay, how important it was for her to have a film that was about being a lesbian and wasn't having to or feeling like it had to embrace the entire debate and the entire spectrum, or somehow have to pay. I mean, partly that was helped because it was a sort of era piece. It was set in the 80s, but doesn't have to kind of, I do think we run the risk sometimes of ignoring the specifics of everyone's experience and identities and genders because we're trying to be considerate to all. To be focused on one thing at one time doesn't mean you're being inconsiderate to everything else. Do you get me? And so it was really interesting. I'm just saying, Mum, I don't know if you're going to watch this later, but there was something really poignant for me because I saw my mum turned into almost a young, giddy lesbian woman who, in her teens, who she would have been gay back then, but for societal reasons couldn't have come out, etc. Her parents couldn't come out, and only came out when I was 7. I could see that it spoke to an expression that she feels she can't have at the moment. And I thought that was really sad. And I thought it was really interesting and really important that she had this, this space in which to feel what she is and what she was or what she, anyway. Just bear with me 1 second. What have we got? Oh, but on that note, I've had enough of Keir Starmer. Here he is. You'll never guess who rocked up to the Taylor Swift concert. Change. Oh, we're going to make things better. We're going to make things bigger. We're going to make sure that there's more money for everyone. We're going to make sure the NHS stays the NHS. I'm not going to send anyone to private schools. We're going to make sure that the trains run on time. It's all change. And I love Taylor Swift so much. Unfortunately, every time I see his face, I see a genocide appeaser. Sorry. I know everyone keeps saying, stop pulling it back to that, but that's all I can see. This was a shocking photograph. Look at this. One faulty e-scooter in a house set ablaze, taking down the roofs and houses of 7 homes. This was in Hampshire. Hampshire and Isle of Wight fire. Was this in Hampshire? No, Gosport, Hampshire. Sorry. Hampshire and Isle of Wight Rescue Service said the initial reports and preliminary fire investigation found that an e-scooter was the most likely cause of this remarkable, shocking photo, as they say, of damage. Pivoting back to Ian McKellen, he fell off stage. McKellen fell on me and no one cared, says female theatre goer. I thought this was kind of important. Obviously, now poor old Ian McKellen hasn't managed to make it back onto stage. He fell off the stage in the Players Kings. He had a fat suit on. He was playing Falstaff. The first reports I read, he landed in the orchestra bit, but clearly it wasn't that simple or that straightforward. And To be fair, orchestra pits are quite small, so he may have bounced off this person and then landed in the orchestra pit. Maybe you should have a good weekend. Lots of love, Rachel Gadd. Lots of love. Hope you're well. Hi, so unique. So anyway, this is interesting. So this poor woman, as she says, I was crushed by Gandalf the Grey. Sobbing theatre girl says Ian flew headfirst into her as he fell on stage, but she feels sad because no one even checked with her. Joanna is her name, from Leatherhead. Let me find a photo of her. There she is, Joanna Dart from Leatherhead. She was landed on. Getting crushed by Gandalf isn't something you would expect. She says, as he tripped on a prop, he built up momentum, flew headfirst into me in the audience. She said she had her legs crossed, and so Ian's head hit her knee very hard. She went into shock, and as they all rushed to help Sir Ian, no one looked out for her. No one checked on her. Now, I imagine a fast-flying Ian McKellen's head is hard. And you're absolutely right. Claude makes a very good point. Knowing Ian McKellen, the man, I'm sure Ian McKellen will check on her once he's recovered. Now, of course, the big concern is that he hasn't been able to return. Though, to be fair, he hasn't been able to return, and there were only 3 other performances after his fall. So I don't think we can read too much into that. Obviously, the concern is that at his age, a fall, it can really knock you physically and emotionally and everything else. So all of our thoughts are going out for him. But of course, if you're hit by someone going at a million miles an hour in a fat suit, and it's their head, and it's the head of our finest actor, that's going to hurt. She possibly saved his life. You're absolutely right, Michu. In fact, her knee possibly saved Gandalf the Grey. You're absolutely right, Sophia. Well, that combined with his fat suit, as we said the other night. Just Stop Oil say they're going to disrupt airports for the entire summer. I find this such a complicated one. You know, when I saw them throw the stuff at Stonehenge, when I first thought it's paint, I thought, why are you going for Stonehenge? And then I thought, well, the very people who are throwing it at Stonehenge, it wasn't paint, it was dye. They're trying to get headlines. They did. I can't work out. I really can't work out if the headlines the Just Stop Oilers are getting for what they're targeting are getting headlines for the right reasons, or whether they just aggravate people. Can you tell me what you feel? I on the one hand, I feel when they throw it at art, I think, why? I mean, to be fair, I think even the paint that was thrown at the art was, it was on glass, so it didn't destroy the art. So they could argue that it's been a systematic process of not damaging anything, but gaining headlines. And you could also argue that it's only because we have a right-wing leaning press that wants to deny the commercial interests of pollution and climate change, etc. They want to deny it so that everyone can keep making money. You could argue that they have no vested interest in presenting the actual point of what they're protesting against. But it's about keeping it is about keeping the attention going. But so why Me Too? Because I can't, and I'm asking genuinely, why? When I hear that they've hit something like Stonehenge or they've gone for something, why does my head hit my hands first? Before, because I'm with them, I totally believe in them. Why? I suppose maybe I'm thinking when they spray painted all of the planes, the private jets, I thought that was good. And wasn't there the suggestion that it might have been even one of Taylor Swift's? I thought that was a good idea. I thought that was a good thing. I thought, great, you're hitting the people that count. It's not going to disrupt ordinary people's lives. Suffragettes did the same, but in chaining themselves to the gates of and interrupting Royal Ascot and dying, the suffragettes, they were sort of things that were kind of the preserve of the rich. So they were kind of the right targets. I don't know if Stonehenge is the right touch. You know what I mean? In terms of targeting. I'm still trying to rationalize how, and yet, but I have one example. The example of them hitting the private jets on the tarmac at an airport, which I saw last week or the week before, that worked for me. So there is a way that it can be done. Jane Sesford says, but they are losing sympathy for what they do, halting traffic when people had emergencies to get to, and they would not move out of the road to support the cause if did things differently. Yes, and I mean, of course, the argument is that one ambulance is going to be millions of ambulances when our planet is scorched and no longer exists. Okay, here's a question, given this slower approach to the news stories. Do you feel that the vast majority of people, like those who will vote for Farage but not admit it, do you think the vast majority of us have all, even those of us who are committed to want, feel it's all too little too late? Me too. All their actions are saying is fire. I've no time for any of them now. Zoe, wow, okay. So have they lost your sympathy? Just quickly back on trans, what irritates me the most is the idea that trans people are new. Good point, that we've cropped up and ruined everyone's status. Trans people have been around forever in so many cultures. Very true, very true. There's a great French film coming out. I forget, is it called Rosalie, I think, which I think speaks to some of these topics. You should read Leanne Harris' message to you. Is that in here? It's very hard to search and go back without sort of, can Leanne Harris resend? Is the Leanne Harris message here? I can't see it. If you can resend it, then I might have a chance to read it. Their message is right, but they go about it the wrong way, says Cloda. Yes, they've gone too far, says Ellery Jones. I'm disgusted at the oil protesters and what they did to Stonehenge, Julie, the singing nutcase. Yeah, because it doesn't really matter. Their message is right, but they go, sorry. Yes, very much too little, too late. Conservatives have taken the piss out of us all. Okie dokie. Okay, so moving on. Let's have a look. I'm gonna. What's this one here? What have we got here? Women sue. Oh, this is curious. Woman sues ex-partner for not giving a lift. Imagine this. Ellery, if you can ask Leanne, can Leanne resend the post? It's too disruptive to go all the way back to the top, I'm afraid, sweetie. Woman sues ex-partner. A woman who took her former partner to court for failing to fulfill a promise to take her to the airport has had her case dismissed. Can you imagine doing that? Can you imagine saying, I can't take you to the airport? Right, I'm going to sue you. I'm going to sue you. It's quite staggering, isn't it? I mean, whereas, most sort of Uber lifts, they drop you off or they say, no, not taking you, it's too far. What are you going to do? Sue everyone. Sue your ex-partner. Bizarre. It's a bizarre story. Absolutely bizarre. I'm going to move on past that because we all know about that. 28 degrees centigrade, scorchers heading for UK. Okay, off the back of the fact that the whole world is, Just Stop Oil are trying to sort of help us. Here's the thing. Why do we go on holiday? Do we go on holiday for the sun or do we go on holiday for the feeling of being abroad? And if we go on holiday for the feeling of being abroad, why is it that most places that Brits go on holiday to be abroad feel like Britain abroad? So if the sun comes here, do we have any interest necessarily in going abroad? Why don't we just go to the park? Is it about getting a tan? Is it about looking body ready? What? Is it the escape? Is it the geographicals? Something in recovery, AA, in 20 years sober coming up this year. One of the things you do, and I kind of had a sense of this in New York, is that we move around places always feeling that we can escape ourselves. That's part of the concept, I think, behind all travel, is if I do this, it will make me feel better. I deserve this, I can distract. But the geographicals is a part of recovery which says, actually, you do take yourself to all these far-flung places and you try and escape yourself, but what's the one thing that's always with you? You. So they call it the geographicals. But if the weather comes here now, if the weather lands now, and it hasn't yet today, but if the beautiful weather lands here, and one's lying in the sun, and you've got a book on your chest, and you've got suntan lotion on, and you're doing all the right things, and there's a barbecue happening somewhere, and all this kind of stuff, and you can have your favorite drink. There's not that frustration of, do they sell Sprite? No, they don't sell Sprite. They only sell some weird local Spanish Sprite. Then why would you not just do it here? Why? Why do we need to go? If 28 degrees scorchers coming here, why head away? Because let's face it, more and more people, as the tragic story of Michael Mosley has proved, more and more people are going missing in the sun. The dangers of being abroad are awful. Yes, you see, now, absolutely. Enjoying other cultures is for you. And that's a huge part of it for me. I've always struggled with holidays or trips where you just go and you just sit on a beach. It's like, and there was a time when you did that because you couldn't get that weather here. For sure. But I think experiencing other cultures is what I like. Because everyone goes to the beach and it's annoying. Oh, what, in this country? But everyone goes to the beach abroad and it's annoying. It's just that we're getting annoyed with I hate the word, foreigners, other Europeans. Sprite is Sprite is the deal breaker. Sprite Light is the deal breaker. Anyway, this other story here is Europe battles to shelter tourism from the new normal of extreme heat. And I think what's interesting about this story... Oh, hang on a minute. Why can I just do that? What's interesting about this story is, what the hell are these countries going to do if things get to 50 degrees heat. And, Sicily, we talked about yesterday, has closed down its borders. Well, not closed down its borders, but it's encouraging the tourists not to come. What do we do? What do they do? How do we do it? So do we travel at a different time of year? And then do we, in the traveling, destroy the planet even more? It's like we all want to get on board with climate change, but none of us want to give up being able to do what we want. That's the problem. Europe is battling to shelter tourism. Temperatures have hit 39 degrees in Rome already. Some people in Italy are saying peak time to visit Rome this year has gone, which speaks to the idea of, are we going to have to stop visiting places in February and times like that? Victoria Moore, I can't cope with people moaning about the heat here. It's that weird thing of either moaning about the heat or then when the heat comes, kind of going, then suddenly not moaning about the fact that the planet's blowing up. What Europe is feeling is, I was at the Las Vegas Film Festival. Oh, so was it good, Sophia? Me too. What Europe is feeling is nothing compared to what is happening along the equator. We don't hear about it because, of course, it doesn't interest our media. What's that? I feel like they should receive support from everyone who uses their places up, then just bugger off. I think I understand what you mean. To be fair, the heat is unbeatable here in extreme heat waves. You're right. It's unbeatable. So what's my next story? We've done the NHS data thingy. I'm not going to do that either. I'm just let's have a look at this one. This is your captain freaking. Boeing jet screen cracks at 40,000 feet. This made me shit myself. I was like, oh my God, what if this was our flight? That there is a cracked window. Can I ask, are there any aeronautical engineering types here? If the windscreen of a jet like this, a Boeing, flying across the Atlantic, cracked open, would it suck everyone out? Like in the movies, would you get sucked out? So a packed jumbo jet's windshield cracked at 40,000 feet. This was a Virgin flight VS41 flight from Heathrow to San Francisco. It wasn't hit by a bird. That's the problem. It was so high, it certainly wasn't a bird. It's a little bit scary. I'm going to get irate for a minute about Love Island. Joey knew sorry for any Love Island haters. Joey knew his ex was coming to the villa. He never really liked me, says Love Island Samantha, as she reveals the hurt of being ditched by Joey Essex. Me and Nads and everyone have said, look, I'm not suggesting it's been. There was an element of stage management a bit. It felt like Joey was holding back for something. What was Joey holding back for? Something. He knew something was happening. I'm pretty sure. I just felt for this girl. It was weird. I almost leapt off my sofa. Hi, Christopher Cundall, sending you love. No, just like how the doors cannot be open. Oh. So would he have been sucked out, Christopher? Would he have been? They would have been sucked out. I was irate on this girl's behalf. I felt really sorry for her. Really sorry for her. Really cross. Really protective. Don't get me going because I can't stop once I start. Spoon with a view. I love this. Spoon with a view. Fans can tour pubs in a Bentley. Yep, you Wetherspoons fans can get oiled on a grand tour of the best Wetherspoon pubs in a chauffeur-driven Bentley with their own personal guide. Imagine this. 6-night booze cruise, including hotels, costs upwards of $1,300 per person. That could be, for a big group of people on a night out in London in a club, that could be the cost of your night out. They do a tour of the greatest and the best and the poshest spoons there are. I have talked already that this would be a great birthday present for our Mads. She loves a Wetherspoons. In a Bentley, you're given a tour. You're given a tour. Hey gang, sorry I'm late. I do have a note. Oh, see Jeff, back of the class. Too late. Not good enough. Sorry. Time Lord struggles to regenerate. Oh, this is the new Doctor Who. And apologies if I pronounced his name incorrectly. Nkuti Gatwa, is that right? Apparently the viewing figures just haven't been great. They've been underwhelming, which is a shame because from everything I hear from the girls, he's a cracking actor. He's got a great personality. It needs a kind of zing zang zubba zubba zooza, Doctor Who. And all the reviews have been great, but it just hasn't. I just think we've hit peak kind of conventional telly, don't you? It's like, when people start saying Mrs. Brown's whatever is not funny, I think that's true. I've never thought it was funny. But yeah, Doctor Who. I feel sorry for Doctor Who. I feel sorry for, anyway, it's not doing well. Binfluencer. Let's get to the Daily Star. Let's get to the news that counts. Dr. Pooh, says Edward Bevington. The script sucks. The pacing's awful. So this is the Daily Star's approach to the election, and I have to say I prefer it to most other papers. This is Count Binface. Count Binface beats Liz Truss by 4 percentage points and is just behind Rishi Sunak in popularity, only by 4%, 4 points behind Rishi in popularity. Binface is among 13 candidates contesting Biggles' seat, the new Richmond and North Allerton constituency. I think one of his things wasn't he going to name one of the bridges after a singer or something like that. Never found Mrs. Brown funny. I've tried. I mean, lots of people we love it, but I've never been able to get on board with it. Is it an Irish thing? Does something get lost in translation? We're over standard TV nowadays, says DP. And Doctor Who, people have moved on. You know what I think they need to do with Doctor Who? Doctor Who needs to be kind of made so dark and so twisted and so disturbed. They just have to kind of kiss goodbye. Everyone's too long in the tooth. Even the other day, 5-year-old toddlers are more used to kind of sophistication. I mean, I know it's wrong and I know it shouldn't be the case, but it's true. Now, if there was ever going to be anything that caused a revolution in this country, it was going to be a jammy Dodger having no jam in the Dodger. What do you want? Jam on it? Fave biscuits, Dodge filling. Biscuit fan was left stunned after finding his pack of jammy Dodgers didn't have any jam. Imagine the disappointment. It's like when you order a KFC or something and they don't deliver your fillets or what they called the chicken. What they called the chicken dippers. That's the kind of thing that could bring this country down. Yeah, exactly, Edward Bevington. What? A jammy Dodger without jam? That means it's just a Dodger. No wonder that man looks so depressed. Look at him. He's looking skyward. He can't believe it. It is worth suing over. Forget your partner, your ex-partner not running you to the airport. You buy me a packet of jammy Dodgers and there's a fucking jammy Dodger with that jam in it. Go fuck yourself. That's what I say. What do you think of that, family? A packet of jammy Dodgers and none of the Dodgers have any jam in them. Outrage. Outrage on the patio. We're all on the same page with that one. Here's a photo. There's Keir Starmer looking inappropriately, I think, at this poor chap who's just struggling with a screwdriver. It's like, Keir, pull your nose up, you weirdo. There's the photo again. There's the royal family jumping over a giant nanny Di. And then, of course, it was the summer solstice this week. Of course, we're going to quickly do the quiz at the end. There's the summer solstice this week. And the papers approach this in different ways. You either get really cool, calm, beautiful, kind of serene, sophisticated, beautifully taken images of a sun setting. Or, if you're the Sun, you publish photographs of nut jobs. Men. Now, they're not jobs. I'm not saying that at all. We love druids. Absolutely, we know druids. I once dated a druid. But the man in the middle, I just couldn't stop looking at him. Do you ever do that? You look at something and you think, well, I just want to look closer at your face. I just wanted to get right in there. I didn't want to kiss him. I just want to look at him and think, what's going on in your summer solstice head? But look at that. That's amazing, isn't it? That's fantastic. Yeah. This doesn't translate very well. I tried to find a digital version of this. So this is everyone running into the sea in Tasmania for the summer solstice, naked. They've all got the same hat. Whoever makes those hats has made a mint. Quickly, angling is good for mental health. It was not good for mine as a teenager. It made me depressed. That's all I've got to say about that. And I just thought we'd end, for those of you, end with the news. We're going to end with some images, which for those of you listening is really frustrating because I'm not going to say what they are. Oh, God, look at that. You're going to have to come over here to look at this. It's just so sweet. Look at that. It would make a great album cover, the Druid group, wouldn't it, Reese? Yeah, for a band like World of Twist. And look at this lot. Oh, God, I can't wait to show these to Nads. She loves a sausage dog in a bap. Oh, look at him. And I just want to look at that one on the left. Look at the one on the left. He's got a pair of aviator glasses just tucked into his collar. Has he? Oh, no, he hasn't. And then this chap, the Codfather, angler's record catch, this one fish could make fish and chips for 180 people. And that fish is thinking, not if I have anything to do with this. Okay, on that note, if you're not up for the quiz, head off. We're going to quickly do the quiz, and then after that, the curly cooks will be landing at around 1:30. So, quiz of the week. If Faith Goodman's in the room, we've managed to get you there. Let me just copy this over here so that I can then keep you all up there. So, give us one second. Get your pens and papers, or do it on your. Apparently, 20% of you guys watch the channel on telly. YouTube told us the other day. I've got another meeting with them this week, but yeah. Any little details that you'd like changed, let us know, and I can raise it with YouTube in terms of the running of YouTube in general, not just us. It's like fucking talk quicker or something like that. Anyway, question 1. Are you ready? Poor Cod. Oh, God. Question 1. Catherine, Princess of Wales, made her first public appearance since news of her cancer diagnosis as she attended Trooping the Colour in London. Of which army regiment is the Princess Colonel? Is it A, the Grenadier Guards, B, the Irish Guards, or C, the Welsh Guards? Of which one of those regiments is she the Princess Colonel? A, the Grenadier Guards, B, the Irish Guards, or C, the Welsh Guards? Leanne Harris, I keep looking for. Where is Leanne Harris's comment? I'm sorry, I can't seem to resend it, Ellery. I want to say you are an inspiration to me. I've recently been in hospital in regards to liver problems, alcohol related. I'm 42. Thank you so much. Leanne, sending you so much love, sweetie. Sorry I haven't been able to see that before. Caught it though. I'm really pleased. Bless you. Well done. And I hope you're gonna be okay. You will be, and I hope you're looking after yourself and you're getting all the attention you need, sweetie. Sending you lots and lots of love, Leanne, and everyone in the room sending you lots and lots of love too. Oh, sweetie. Maybe get distracted by this ridiculous quiz of ours. The answer is B, the Irish Guards. You're absolutely right. Harry Potter star Daniel Radcliffe was among the winners at this year's Tony Awards. Who won Best Actress in a Lead Role? Was it A, Angelina Jolie, B, Jessica Lange, or C, Sarah Paulson? Which one of those won for Best Actress in a Lead Role? Was it A, Angelina Jolie, B, Jessica Lange, or C, Sarah Paulson? Lots of love coming your way, Leanne, from everyone in the room. Very sweet, very sweet. You look after yourself. I will do another chat at some time soon about sobriety and what have you. It's it always benefits me, and it benefits a number of you guys too. C, lots of you are saying Sarah Paulson. You're absolutely right. Question 3. McDonald's removed AI ordering technology from its drive-through restaurants after customers reported major errors. As well as ice cream topped with bacon and more than $200 for chicken nuggets, what other orders did the system reportedly offer them? A, 47 apple pies instead of a banana milkshake, B, cheeseburger with no burger, or C, ice cream with a ketchup and butter. Oh my God. As AI becomes more control, if AI takes us out, I don't think AI is going to take us out in a coherent Terminator-style fashion. I think we're all going to be, AI is possibly going to pick us all up with a massive kind of, crane and thrust us into an ice cream sundae or something. It's going to be the oddest end to humanity if the problems that happen with AI happen to all of us. The answer is C. It offered up ice cream with ketchup and butter. Sounds quite nice there. Question 4. Former sub-postmaster Alan Bates, actress Imelda Staunton, and artist Tracy Emin were amongst the top names to receive honours. What was the age difference, though, between the youngest and oldest recipients on the honours list? Was it 70 years, 80 years, or 90 years? What was the age difference between the youngest and oldest recipients of an honour on the King's Birthday Honours list? Was it A, 70 years, B, 80 years, or C, 90 years? I had no comprehension on this whatsoever. I just went for the biggest. I went for 90 years, and I'm just going to let you all know that was wrong. It was B, 80 years. Question 5. Barcelona's Lamine Yamal became the youngest man to play at the European Championship, performing a key role in Spain's 3-0 win against Croatia. Who was the previous youngest player in the Euros? Was it A, Jude Bellingham, B, Kacper Kozlowski, or C, Jethro Willems? I don't know any of those. One thing I do know is I'm so pleased I've missed the 2 England matches so far. They sound like the most turgid watches and wastes of 90 minutes one could have ever spent one's time wasting. It's at those points where I do subscribe to the idea that when football's boring, it's so boring, and it's such an aimless, pointless waste of time and space. Hate football, Penny Albertella. I used to love it. I used to be passionate about it. I like to watch a good game, But anyway, the answer is B, Kacper Kozlowski. Question 6. A prestigious art museum in Switzerland. Oh, bless you, Leanne. Bless you. Sending you so much love. I hope we keep making you laugh. A prestigious art museum in Switzerland said it would remove 5 paintings from one of its exhibitions while it investigated whether they were looted by the Nazis. The pictures included works by Claude Monet, Vincent van Gogh, and which of these artists? A. Gustave Courbet, B. Gustave Klimt, or C. Edouard Manet? So this is some potentially looted art, which a Swiss museum pulled off the walls. Which of those could have been amongst them? Was it A. Gustave Courbet, B. Gustave Klimt, or C. Edouard Manet? That made me literally cack my pants, that sound. It's A. Gustave Courbet. And finally, visitors to London's Kew Gardens were able to have a rare smell of its Titan arum plant, otherwise known as the corpse flower, after it burst into bloom. But how did science journalist Marnie Chesterton describe it? A. Rotting cabbage with a lingering scent of uncleaned cat litter tray. B. Old sweat and damp clothes at first, then leaves you with the unmistakable aroma of stinking fish. Or C. Whiff of unwashed lavatory with strong undertones of something that went off at the back of the fridge. I'm not going to repeat those for you. A. Rotting cabbage one. B. Old sweat and damps one. C. Whiff of unwashed lavatory one. It'd have been quite good to go and see that, wouldn't it? Is it still on? It was the whiff. It blooms only briefly every 2 years. We've missed its blooming moment. We should have gone, Mum. We should have gone, Mum, for a whiff of the unwashed lavatory with strong undertones of something that went off at the back of the fridge. That's how she described it. C is the answer. Guys, lots of love. See you soon. So Curly Cooks will be landing in half an hour at a push. It's a pre-record. It's lovely. It's beautiful. You'll enjoy it. Anyway, have a lovely day. Go and enjoy Couple Does, what do we do? Couple Does Canberra Sounds, number 2. That's there. Oh, How to Stay Married. Some wonderful quotes for a meaningful married life and love and all that kind of stuff that we unpack.